It's that time again, baby. It is the KVJ After the Show podcast brought to you by Bud's Chicken and Seafood.
Yeah,
Bud. Yeah.
Get yourself some Bud sauce.
I don't want to brag, but I got a very official phone call with Philip from Bud Chicken and Seafood.
Oh, you do, huh?
Got a new campaign going to be rolling out.
This is the seafood celebration?
Yes, there's going to be some. I believe so. I'm going to talk to him later on today. I'm also going to talk to him about the jingles and all that stuff. So
I love it.
Big doings with Bud Chicken and Seafood, Kev.
You're kind of a power player in the fast food world.
Well, with Bud's I am. They take me seriously.
Who knew?
Be nice if other places did.
Yeah, I got an email here to start things off. Nick from Melbourne. He said, I'm the one that keeps driving an hour and a half for Bud's Chicken and Seafood.
Wow.
Yeah, he said, I don't mind the drive because I love belting out tunes in the car, and it's good to get out of town sometimes.
That's awesome.
That's my kind of cat right there. And I've driven the long distances to get cozy food that was not in my area. I love it.
Yeah, he said the nearest one to me is on North Lake, and I find it hilarious that there's a KFC right next to it.
And if you look at the line, Bud's is always longer.
Dude, it's not even close.
It's not even a competition.
I'm one of those ones that I want the fast food wars to stop. We don't need to be, fighting with each other, but Bud's whomps that ass when it comes to
yeah, and right there, if you have the choice to go to KFC or Bud's, it's like, duh.
It is duh. I'm going to sit down with them, maybe talk about, tell me if this would work, a little Bud Chicken and Seafood buffet.
In the store?
It's just an idea. Just an idea. KFC's got one. I'm just saying, could that work? I think it could.
KFC's got a buffet in the store?
What? Some certain locations do.
How about that?
Look at you.
So you're like on the governing board now?
I don't want to. I don't like to be painted with that brush, but
He's got one phone call. All of a sudden, he thinks he's making all the changes.
yeah. I just like being, a player. I'm in it, baby.
You are in it.
I don't care.
But you ain't in it enough to demand a buffet.
No, I can go to the board. I can suggest
That
things.
would require architectural changes to the inside.
I hear you.
I mean, you're a big man with big dreams over there, Ralston.
Yeah, I turned into Kevin.
Nick had a couple other things to say. Said, I recently went on a date with a guy that used to work with you guys. His name is Ted, and he lives in Orlando now.
I remember Ted.
Yeah, I think we know Ted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Is
said-
that Ted Noah?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
He said he had to step over Jason one morning while Jason was passed out on the floor in a Superman costume.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Not much has changed.
And he said, I know I'm a little bit behind on this one, but I teach 7th grade science, so I get a lot of strange and uncomfortable questions from kids about sex. There's one I get almost every year. Can you get pregnant from drinking sperm? It's almost always asked by a girl, and the word drinking just turns my stomach.
Like it's in a cup over ice.
And what girl in school is like raising their hand saying that in front of people?
Well, I think that's around the age where like kids are starting to get into like the oral, and they're dabbling with all that kind of stuff, and they don't.
You say middle school?
Yeah, 7th,
it's the
8th,
truth.
9th grade. I think that's when they kind of start to get it. But it's like that's where getting pregnant freaks you out because I remember the first girl that got pregnant. I think in my school was in 7th grade.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Definitely. Same with ours. We had a pregnant 7th grader.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think it was Patty Sexton was her last name. I think she had 3 kids before she graduated high school.
Really?
Well, that's how you do it right in Logan.
Yeah, and I remember she was it's kind of a race between her and Tina Amna. They were both battling back and forth. It's like one would pop one out, and they'd be like, I got to go back at it.
I mean, Patty's probably a great grandmother now.
Probably,
She's
yeah.
your age.
Yeah, I think she was 13 when she had her first kid.
Yeah, I remember when I heard about like the first blow piece. Somebody got a blowjob in the end of 6th grade, and it was confirmed. No one denied it on both parties, guy and girl. Oh yeah, we did it. And that's when I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna go play with my GI Joes. I don't want to grow up yet.
I keep asking Mags if she's had her first kiss. Like I ask her all the time.
What grade? She's in 5th.
6.
This is when it starts to happen. The kissing, and I was a little bit of a late bloomer. I think my first kiss was at the end of 7th grade, maybe the beginning of 8th. This is when it happens.
It does. Nick said that I always say no when the girls ask about drinking sperm, but it's not safe or a good idea to do. And I'd like to plead with parents to please talk to your kids about sex, and not just about intercourse, but about their bodies. You wouldn't believe how many girls do not know what's going on down there. I suppose it's easier for men because all our stuff is pretty much on the outside of our bodies. But I've had to tell some adult women that they have 2 openings down there. They didn't know. They actually thought that the vagina and the urethra were the same hole.
And I get that. There's many years I've even said that to you, Virginia.
It's confusing. You have to actually get a mirror and check it out down there to figure out, oh, yeah. 1, 2, there's 3.
So how close is the one hole, the pee-pee hole, to the?
I mean, they're next door neighbors.
They are. They're
sharing a wall in a condo.
You can knock. Okay, you knock on that. You hear techno music if they're playing.
Absolutely.
Right.
If there's a rave going on in my vagina, my bladder knows about it.
Okay.
Interesting, man. The female form.
Nick also said, I think you guys should do the movie sequel game for the Goonies.
I like it, Nick.
Ooh, okay.
I think that's the next one up if we ever do that bit again.
If we do it.
Not sure we are, but
we knew that was kind of on the way out.
Kevin loved it till you beat him.
You're
I don't
right,
think
man.
Did I beat him?
You beat him.
You're right. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then he was like, we're not doing it anymore.
Not doing it anymore.
Makes
I don't like it if I can't win. I got this email from Steven in Hawaii. He said, I got this free on Super Bowl Sunday. He went in to get I think they had a deal where it was like 20 nuggets for the price of 10 or something like that. And while he was waiting, they gave him the Shamrock Shake. It's the Shamrock chocolate. You can see part of it's chocolate, part of it's Shamrock. So I think, we were wondering if it's all going to be swirled together, but no, they just, kind of like did half and half.
There's 5 different flavors. So there's one that's all chocolate, there's one that's all green, and there's one that's half and half.
Now, is it all chocolate with like mint, or is it just a regular chocolate shake?
No, it's chocolate with mint.
That's a great question, though.
It's got mint flavor in it. They
Okay.
all have chocolate with mint flavor. They're all
Okay.
chocolatey minty.
So there's chocolatey, straight out chocolate minty.
There's green, there's brown, and there's mixed green and brown.
Okay.
And then there's 2 warm beverages. One is cocoa and one is coffee.
Interesting. That's smart.
And they're all chocolatey minty.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to sell in South Florida, but I mean, not bad for up north.
I'm sure it'll do good.
I guess people drink coffee down here.
I
too.
actually like drinking cold ice. I love cold stuff when it's hot out.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Strike that. Reverse.
stuff when-
I was going to say that makes a lot of sense.
it's
You
hot
like
out?
drinking cold stuff
you
when
like
it's hot
drinking
out?
hot stuff when it's hot out?
Wow, that's revolutionary, Virginia. I like cold beverages when it's hot outside.
Bless his heart.
Oh, stop.
He's still reeling from the pump talk.
I am. Wait, the pump? Oh, no, I'm not. I have never done that pump at the station like you say. Come on.
Was it one to make your dick bigger, or was it one
Yes.
to squeeze out a little?
No, it's to make your peen look big, and none of that stuff works. I even heard guys that try to get a peen operation, there are chances of a lot of shit going wrong.
Yeah.
Where it could come back and it just don't look the same.
I think ultimately you're just born with what you're born with.
You're born
man.
with what you got,
You got to
and-
live with it.
You gotta, I think, lick it to stick. I mean, you gotta do other things that make you better in bed.
What was it?
Lick it to stick it?
Yeah, I realized how vulgar it sounded, and I tried to kind of trail off when I was.
You got to lick it to stick it, is what you're saying?
I should have
You
You-
lick your own?
You put
No.
What? You put it in the pump and
Is
then
that
lick
what you
it?
say to the ladies? You got to lick it to stick it? Is that
It's a terrible
What is
thing.
this?
It's a horrible thing I just
You got
said.
this on a T-shirt?
It should be. I should have it on a T-shirt and wear it to like a fair.
It's definitely on a sleeveless shirt.
Oh yeah.
You got to lick it to stick it.
And when you wear that shirt, you can only smoke chain smoke.
Wow.
Sorry.
Let me see. You got an email from Patty. She's talking about these stories from a stoner. She said, I heard you read an email about the caller missing the stories from a stoner. I want to second that. Yeah, I get it. As he gets more, we'll probably drop them in here. We did one at the live show, and we'll make sure we start capturing those. But we're probably going to save it for like special events like that. He'll drop in a story from a stoner at our live shows.
The other alternative is he just starts making shit up, and you don't want that.
No.
exactly.
He's still got that one great one that he told us. And he's never told it on the podcast.
Is it the one that involves? I don't
No,
know.
not you.
Oh, shut up.
It involves these.
Okay, never mind. Let's just move on. I don't know what she's talking about. She's making me fucking nervous.
She said, I'm a faithful listener to the ATS podcast, and my favorite part was Fridays hearing about another wild story from Denny's. I heard you might do a best of, and I thought that I would cast my vote. By far, it has to be the story that Denny's told in early December about tripping balls, and then meeting the girl's family and friends from the church group. I could foresee the wax apple as Denny's told the story, but when he got to the linen napkin where he spit it out and that it was actually the flowing sleeve from one of the ladies, I lost it. I played that bit for so many people and it never gets old. If Denny's needs time to come up with new material, can't you play a repeat on Fridays of his most classic stories? How about allowing listeners to vote on the favorite that will re-air that Friday? Love you all, but his stories are just the best. Yeah, I think what we're going to do is, we're trying to get more and more materials. It just takes a lot of man hours to do this kind of stuff, and I believe we've recruited a little bit of help.
We have.
That is going to start helping us archive some of our stuff, so it's easier for people to go find and listen to and share and pass along to your friends. So you don't have to pass along at a party and queue it all up. You'd be able to find it and then, share and send it out to 10 people, and it'd be just that story. So we're going to go through and get all Denny's stories from a stoner. They're going to be online, and then we'll have where you can go find them.
And don't worry, he's working on some new ones. He's working on new material.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
Are you flying co-pilot?
He's working on some new material.
This story from Elsa. She said, hey, I just want to say I love your show. I listen to it every day while I'm at work, and I'm a listener from Key West. I want to comment about smoking or giving pot to animals. I'm a former veterinary technician, and I know a fairly good amount about animals' health. Pot doesn't kill dogs or cats. I cannot speak about other smaller pets because I haven't seen any case at the hospital. When dogs or cats eat pot, they get very relaxed and hypersensitive at the same time. They will pee on themselves sometimes because they cannot control their bladder. When we get an animal that ate a pot edible, usually the treatment is IV fluids to get the THC out of their body quicker.
And Taco Bell.
My personal experience, I smoke pot, and I used to smoke around my cat and blow it on his face a lot. Now he loves to smoke. Anytime I'm smoking, my cat comes running and puts his nose on the smoke. Now, he doesn't like when I blow on his face anymore. He likes to get his own hits.
Ah.
All right.
It's gateway drug, cat.
Yeah, cat's going to become tour for blow next. Is that what's going on?
Cat cane.
That weed's not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else sent me an email I was kind of excited about. And it was somebody also listens in Key West. And they were down there. In fact, I'm waiting for a response. That's why. They saw Kevin, one of the characters from Bloodline. And they're filming a scene.
Oh.
So they're working on that new season for Netflix.
That's cool.
Yeah, I watched the first 2 episodes of Bloodlight. My favorite part was when it was a little boring, Bronk.
Yeah, it's for people that know good drama.
I didn't give it enough time. I just like busting Kevin's balls.
This one from Trini talking about good drama and Meryl Streep. We'd mentioned how she has like 64 mil in the bank, and Kim Kardashian has like 150.
It doesn't seem right, Kevin.
It's not right, but it is the way of the world today. And she said, I won't consider Meryl Streep a well-decorated actress. She is a seasoned actress, a singer, well-known but not decorated. I don't even know what the difference is. It's just a word that came out of my mouth.
What I mean, she's decorated.
Decorated means you have awards.
She's got several awards.
That's what I thought. I don't even know.
She's highly decorated.
Said, I don't know if you ever heard about EGOT. Only 12 people have ever achieved this, including Whoopi Goldberg, Mel Brooks, and Audrey Hepburn.
It's an Emmy, Grammy, Tony, and Oscar.
It's like the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah, you've won one of all the major awards.
It's
Yeah.
the Hollywood Grand Slam.
Adele is one short, and when asked about an interview, she said she's too busy to think about a Tony.
Yeah, Tony requires Broadway work, which is really the most difficult of all of those. I mean,
She
you
could
want to
do
talk
it.
about a grueling gig day after
Yeah.
day. Does she have to, though? I mean, Adele is recording and killing it
She don't want to go on
without
Broadway.
killing herself.
Yeah.
And the only thing I'd say, too, about Adele's, I hate to slide it, because, yeah, you got an EGOT. It's great. But to me, what's great is when you do it in acting. And Adele doesn't have it in acting, right? She's got an Emmy.
Well,
Is it all because her songs have been used in
if her
movies
song
and
was
TV
moved-
shows?
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely could
Yeah.
be. She could have got an Emmy and a Grammy for that.
And I see what you're saying, Kev, because
Yeah.
Whoopi was out there doing she was
Right,
she
you're-
was acting and doing
Right.
the
To
whole,
me, I think you're talking about somebody that's just, I mean, she's just a great singer who's had her work used in all those fields, but it's not like
You're not calling her a song and dance girl. She's just
Right.
a song girl.
I'd like to know that like you can act and you're an amazing actress who can also become an amazing singer. To me, that's what I think truly represents if you're going to be in that category.
If you have a Tony from a Broadway musical performance that you sang in, that to me is the most impressive because you
It
are
is, yeah.
the shit. Mm-hmm. Of all those, that's the most impressive to me.
I can level with you, Kevin. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Virginia.
Let me see here. Got an email from Surfer.
Oh, sweet.
That narrows it down.
Yeah. Surfer 623. Says my ex's grandma passed away suddenly on the family couch. I was talking about how Chewy, my dog, died in the bed
Damn.
Saturday night. They kept the couch, which had a stain on it in the exact spot.
Death stain or
Death stain, yeah, because a lot of times like fluids do come out of you, and like Chewy pooed a little bit.
Okay,
and
what
so
kind? I mean, let's call it what
you
it
release
is.
everything.
Is it poop?
A lot
Chewy
of
pooped, but
times
then he also
it
had
is.
some things run out of his nose and mouth and stuff like that.
Dead people leak, Jason.
Okay, but it's from what it sounds like they leak a bunch of different kind of stuff.
It
Blood,
can be
snot,
blood. It can be
poop.
poo. It can be urine. It can be
phlegm.
Yeah, it's kind of like a lot of liquids just
everything
start coming
just
out of your body.
releases because
Yeah.
all your organs just go.
Who on the show you think is gonna be the biggest leaker?
You.
I agree.
Oh,
I agree. I don't want that title, but I think I'm gonna leak them.
we'll clean you up if
But
we
it's going to be like
find you.
ranch,
Bird sauce.
bird sauce.
I'll be delicious.
Yeah.
We'll all gather around you with
Chips.
chicken tenders.
That would actually be the way I'd want to go out. You eating off my dead body, using my blood and dead juice for your sauce.
What? All right. How did we get here?
I don't know.
You're looking at him.
The After the Show podcast is fucking weird.
She said, I would avoid that spot like the plague, and during the week before the funeral, I was feeling exhausted, and I fell asleep on the adjoining couch with my head on the couch arm. Suddenly, I woke up to something hitting the arm of the chair. I thought it was the cat, but then I looked up, and the cat was across the room sleeping.
I don't know, man. It might be time to get a different couch. If you're avoiding the spot, and your
That's-
elbow almost might be
Well,
hitting
sometimes you live in a house, and the person's like, I'm not getting rid of that, because some people just aren't that freaked out by it.
Some people don't have money for a new couch, too. I mean, if anything
True.
happened to my couch, I'd be like, oh, well, we don't have a couch for a while, y'all. That's it.
You got that nice couch. Damn, that thing's sweet as shit.
We got a couple of couches, and if anything happened to any of them, I can't afford to replace them right now.
I'm definitely getting rid of it, though. Oh, my gosh.
Well, at least get it cleaned.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe don't get a new couch, but we can't put some spick and span or some fucking Ajax on this thing.
Hey, did anybody try to get the stain out?
No, not according to this. I mean, they didn't say anything about it. That's all they wrote in the email.
Do we know? Was it poop?
Just said a stain.
I mean,
I think
that's
it was probably the random bodily juices that came out.
such a blanket statement. Just
Yeah.
a stain.
Probably a little bit of piss and blood if you really need to know.
Piss and blood.
I mean, if you're searching for
Okay,
specifics.
thank you, Kevin. That is what I was looking
Okay, good.
for.
All right. That's what I think we're looking for. I got somebody here talking about a nightmare mother-in-law. I was listening to the podcast that you guys are talking about with the whole mother-in-law from hell. And I wanted to share my story. My lovely mother-in-law got me a #1 mom charm bracelet. I got it for Christmas 2 years ago with a nice engraved saying on the back. Oh, I forgot to mention, I can't have kids. Me and my husband have been trying for 11 years. My mother-in-law is well aware of this. She said she gave it to me on accident in front of a large group of people. I remained calm and polite, but my husband was pretty pissed about it too. What do you do? It's his mom. She said she must have mixed up the gifts that was for my sister-in-law that has 3 kids. Now, I've gained a little weight over the past couple of years, and she always loves to tell me how I look so healthy now.
Oh, it's such a jerky thing.
But for Christmas last year, she got me a XXX muumuu. It was so big I thought it was a sheet. I'm a size 9 now. Pfft. She says such passive-aggressive and snide comments, and I see right through it, as does my husband. However, it's still his mom, so I just go with it. What can you do?
Gosh, I tell you what you can do. You fight, baby. You defend yourself. That's probably a bunch of problems, isn't it, when you
I
start...
don't know. I mean, if she was giving gifts like that on purpose to hurt you, I'm sorry. 2 can play that game, bitch. all day. Okay, we're going to be opening up gifts in front of the family.
It's nothing but insult gifts back and forth.
Let's have some fun.
What do you get, Grandma? What do you get her?
You have to know her weaknesses and then get her something. Yeah.
You always know your weaknesses of your enemy and then
exploit them. Okay.
Yep. Learn the weaknesses. Everybody's got them.
I know the mature thing is to walk away, turn the other cheek, but there is a time where somebody is fucking with you, and you do gotta fight. You gotta stand up for yourself sometimes.
It's just like a bully on the playground.
It really is.
If you don't stand up for yourself, they'll keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You do gotta scare a bully because they're looking for someone they can just go ahead and run through. They don't want any kind of blocking.
Every bully can be stopped. You just have to figure out what that hot button is.
She ain't lying.
Crazy. That would suck to be in that kind of like situation where you got to deal with it.
Every single bully can be stopped. You just got to keep trying till you figure it out.
My mom and my dad's mom, they didn't get along very well, but that was kind of very benign when I hear stories about you and your ex-mother-in-law, then a story like that. I mean, that's some shit.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just poking the snake. So you know what? If you poke the snake enough, you will get bit.
What if your ex, the ex-mother-in-law, gave you a moo-moo that was too big? Do you say something to her? She is clearly... You've gained some weight, and she's clearly just trying to be a jerk. She gives you a double XL.
I think the first thing you
moo-moo.
probably want to say, be like, I'm sorry, was this yours? Did you accidentally give this to me? Like, this isn't my size.
Because this is definitely closer to your size than mine.
Yeah. That's the first thing you
So-
probably say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When Virginia is pissed, man, it's all out the. She don't give a fuck. She will put it all on blast in front of anybody.
Well, I mean, at that point, somebody does that. It's so obviously a dickish thing. And if she does have a couple LBs on you, then yeah, I'd be like, going, I'm sorry, you actually wrapped up yours and gave it to me.
If someone's going to go there with you, don't let them win.
Now, if she's in shape, the mother-in-law, you have to obviously attack something else.
I mean, she had multiple kids. One of them was horrible. That's her fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe one of them.
Maybe one of them's a black sheep. She didn't love properly. Everybody's got a weak spot. Everybody's got a weakness.
That's why you don't get on Virginia's bad side.
Sweet story from Kaylee. She's talking about how she grew up in Jupiter, raised by a single mom as an only child. And when she was 20 in 2008 and in nursing school, she got a phone call one night from a girl in Michigan saying that she was my sister. Turns out my dad had another daughter before me that I never knew about.
Wow.
She's 3 years older. We looked alike, sounded alike, and she was also in nursing school. How weird. We started talking on the phone almost every day and became really close, and I flew up to Michigan a few months later to meet her in person. We clicked immediately, and she was dating this guy at the time with a really awesome family. She kept saying, oh, you got to meet his little brother. He's so cute, and you guys are so much alike. Well, we were at the boy's parents' house while I was visiting that summer, and I'm standing in the kitchen, and in walks little brother. He's 6'5", gorgeous, athletic, an amazing smile.
Okay, jackpot.
Yeah. And for 5 years, I'd see him every time I visited my family in Michigan. But, I lived in Florida, loved it here, didn't think I was ever going to go there, and he would never come to Florida.
Aww.
But it seems like every single year when I go up to visit, he would mysteriously break up with his girlfriend that he was with at the time right before I got there.
Wow.
So they kind of went back and forth and all that kind of stuff. And one summer, I decided to look for a travel nursing job for the summer in Michigan to be close to my sister. Needless to say, that job turned permanent, and we got married in 2015, and we're expecting our second child in July.
No way.
Although I said I'd never leave Florida, I can't imagine doing life with anyone else. He's amazing.
That's a
And
great story.
The cool thing, my sister ended up marrying his brother.
How amazing is that?
Yeah, we were maid of honor, yeah.
That could be a Dateline special or something.
I know, right?
That's
Yeah.
a great story.
We were maid of honor, best man in each other's weddings. I mean, the fact she didn't even know she had a sister.
Yeah, and then she got not a sister, but also a husband, and now 2 kids. And
How one call can change your life, huh?
I love that.
Yeah, that's why I always put mine to voicemail. Imagine what I'm missing.
Well, you know what? If it's important enough, they'll leave a message.
That's true.
Your long-lost sister's not going to hang up and say, oh, well, fuck it. He didn't answer.
Yeah. He's now in Rockford, Michigan.
Some sisters might say, I don't know.
And there's a photo from the wedding. There she is.
Oh, that is adorable.
How cute if you're watching KVJ TV. Got that up for you. Wanted to talk a little bit about the comedy. I think coming up this week, I believe he's going to be coming in studio. Anthony Jeselnik is going to be at the Palm Beach Improv this week.
I really like that dude. Mm-hmm. He goes for it. He doesn't give a shit if you're offended.
No, he doesn't. And, I'm just wondering, it'd be interesting maybe to get his take on this when he comes in here. Is comedy going to start changing in the comedy clubs?
I don't think it is, Kev. I think you're going to always have people that are offended. And this is something that has gone on in comedy clubs throughout the history of comedy clubs. You just see it more often now because everything has got cameras. But people get offended. I can show you videos of people standing up from the 80s going, I can't believe you said that about those or this or that. And you're never going to get rid of it.
But the only thing about it, and the thing that I wonder is you see with protests that happen and how quickly they happen and what gets these protests going. It's something in the media, it's something in social media, and it gets an organized group together, and then people start picketing. I mean, imagine, if a joke came out. I mean, honestly, as bad as it was, remember, what's his name from Seinfeld?
Yeah, Kramer.
When he had that meltdown?
Yeah.
I mean, that really...
different. That was different, though, than a stand-up routine. He broke character and then went after people in the audience.
It was, but... If he did that now with social media and the way it is, I think that it would have been even 10 times worse. And it was ugly.
It was bad for
him.
It
was real bad.
Honestly, he never recovered from that.
Yeah.
And there is what's the show you like with Seinfeld? He does now with the
Comedians in Cars with Coffee.
Yeah.
He does a serious one with him, and I don't think a lot of people know about it, but they go into what happened, and he talks about... His life never ever recovered. As far as with his career, he never got another gig really after that.
Yeah. So, I kind of wonder with some of these jokes, are people going to start looking at it like that and staying like that? Or, with these videos coming out, is it possible? Because I could see it, the way things get picked up and the way things go. And
if it's something like with what Michael Richards did, yes, people will always, they're going to share that because it was mean and it turned into something that wasn't part of the routine. If you're talking about racial comedy in a comedy club,
like the George Lopez.
Good luck trying to get that out. There are too many people that are just in love with the comedy. They come from that area.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about freedom of speech. It's never going to die from the clubs. You're always going to have that. And two, are they making money doing it? If the mighty dollar...
comedians start backing away from those jokes, saying all it takes, though, is one joke that is videoed, is taken the wrong way, and then I got, an assload of people that are protesting me, and I don't need that because it keeps me from getting gigs.
I think, too, it's going to be how they respond after. The thing that Steve Martin did, I wasn't a fan that he deleted his tweet when he talks about Carrie Fisher, saying that she was a beautiful woman, and who would have thought she was also smart. People got on him about that. Can't believe you're talking about her being beautiful first after her death. And then he got all these people, in his ear, and then he deletes his tweet. Don't delete your tweet, man, because other people are sensitive to your verbiage. Fuck them.
Well, and that's what happens is, it's that pressure that he's probably like going, look, I don't want to own the comment that much that I want to fight for it. He's like, look, if he's a younger man in the game, maybe he keeps it. But he's like going, look, I don't even need it.
He got more pressure for deleting it, though. A whole section of people got more pissed off that he deleted it. Like,
it
dude,
just sucks
because you're
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
He didn't say anything offensive. He did not say anything. He said she was smart and she was beautiful. People need to lighten the fuck up.
2 questions about this. I'm not saying, I'm just asking. George Lopez, is his joke out of bounds? And 2, is his response the right response? Obviously, foul language in this is why I'm playing this on the After the Show podcast.
Most of the fucking Latinos family. Don't marry somebody black. And don't park in front of our house.
Yeah, so his joke was 2 rules in my Hispanic household. 1, don't marry somebody black. And 2, don't park in front of the house. So a woman in the crowd steps up and flips him off. And I'm looking at the clip here. I'm going to try to see. I tried earlier, but I couldn't really tell. It's so dark. You can't see, any ethnicity. So I don't know if it's just a woman's upset or if it hit close to home. Here's how he responds.
Sit your fucking ass down. Sit your fucking ass down. I'm talking, bitch. Sit your fucking ass down. You paid to see a show. Sit your ass down. You can't take a joke. You're in the wrong motherfucking place. You can't take a joke, you're in the wrong. So sit your fucking ass down or get the fuck out of here. Sit your fucking ass down or get the fuck out of here. I see you. Okay, I'm sitting all fucking, I want to fucking hear myself. You got 2 choices. Shut the fuck up or get the fuck out.
Crowd loves it.
I'll tell you what, I'll make a choice for you. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck
And then he has it removed.
You're never gonna win. I mean, George Lopez is a major comedian. Those are all George Lopez fans. They'll do anything for him. Do you think you're going to go to a George Lopez show and turn the crowd on the comedian? It's never going to happen.
No. Some people are so delusional. I wonder how they get through life.
Well, it'd be like...
Really? You don't know not to do that?
It's like a vegan going to a steak joint and getting pissed off when they bring you a steak. It's like, what do you think you're at? You're in a comedy club. Shit's gonna get offensive. It's just you may not agree with what they say. I don't think his rant, call it "fuck you," sit down. I don't think that's funny. I don't find it that. I mean, he could have gone. He could have been more clever. But it's in his arena with his fans, and I mean that's the way it goes.
Do you think comedy clubs become a safe haven? Because I mean, his joke. Now, and to me, I put things in two different categories. I think you can have racial humor. And then I think you can have racist humor. And I think racist is when there's negativity or discrimination that is in it. Racial is observing differences that happen and there's no kind of shade. That to me is a little bit more racist in the sense where it's like there are two things that you couldn't have in my Mexican family. You can't date black people and you can't park in front of the house. You know, when
you start censoring what people can say in their comedy routine, this is funny and that's not funny, you're never going to win, because even if it's the most horrible material, you're going to get a percentage of people who love that, who think it's funny, and then see it as a joke. And then you're going to get a percentage of people who say, that's offensive, that's not funny, and now you're in a game of opinion.
My only question is, do you think that the comedy club will remain a safe haven for all kinds of humor? Because George Lopez tells that joke outside of the safe haven that I think has always existed inside of a comedy club. He does that in an award show or anything like that. I think this is a major story, and the story is, how dare he tell that joke? And you're going, wait, he would tell that joke inside a comedy club, so why do we have, just because he's on a different stage?
It's weird.
And it's a safe haven. So do you think that it's going to remain that way, where comedy clubs are going to be a safe haven where you could do racist humor and not get the societal backlash that you would if you told that in an award show?
It's gonna differ from comedian to comedian.
For sure. I mean, you're never going to get rid of New York clubs with people doing edgy comedy. You're never going to get rid of Boston clubs with people doing edgy comedy. And yeah, if you're Jeff Foxworthy and you're in front of a Jeff Foxworthy crowd, you don't say pussy. You don't say twat. There's just things you don't do. Part of being a successful comedian is probably reading the room and knowing your audience.
What about lick it and stick it? Could you say that?
Never good to say, especially on a podcast. It comes off very creepy and wrong.
By the way, I just received the markups for the lick it and stick it T-shirts. Oh yeah.
I just think, oh, that's great. I think
they'll sell well in Key West.
I think, you don't always have to agree with what people are saying. But just because you don't agree with it and you find it repulsive, which many times it could be, doesn't mean it should be shut down in a comedy club. That's just my opinion. Now, you'll get 10 emails saying, Jaybird, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I think it'll just be interesting to see, because, I mean, it's always remained that comedy clubs have been that safe haven. You can do the kind of jokes that, you couldn't do anywhere outside of the comedy club, and we've been fine with that. You go in there, and it's almost like cringeworthy humor and stuff like that. But for me, I'm not offended by that kind of stuff. It's not something that's going to get me personally, and I'd hate to see it stop. And I think, in a sense, almost to defend George Lopez's, he's talking about his family, his parents. And I think it's kind of interesting, and it's a contextual thing, saying, there were more racist viewpoints that existed, in his parents. And hopefully now, he's not like saying, look, I wouldn't allow this. He's saying that's the one thing that happened with my family.
The generation before me.
Right, the generation before me. And if the joke is now, like, there are two things I won't allow. No black people, and you can't, then people be like, what? Then it's got a whole different it's a whole different tone.
Well, usually when you hear comedians talk about that, because you always hear the edgier comedians, they're asked, well, do you get nervous? The same stuff you're talking about, and the way they always explain it is nobody is off limits. Everybody's going to get the business, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're blue, green, whether you have any kind of issues. Everybody is going to get it. And then if you're one of the people complaining that, I don't want my whatever to be part of your comedy, now you're saying that you're not making it about everybody.
Personally, I think that kind of shock stuff does more to help race issues than it does to hurt them. I think what hurts them more is when people uber sensitive about it, and then they start calling people out and saying that they're awful people, hurtful people, racist people. And, sometimes it is deserved. But if you look at how damaging that is to race in this country, I actually think the reverse is more damaging.
Another one that gets people pissed off, and you hear comedians defend it, is rape jokes. They'll do rape stuff, and people will get offended and leave, and then you see in interviews right after, the comedian will defend what they're talking about. And
that's crazy. That's the one. And see, that's kind of weird because you say that, and now I'd be to the point where I'm not enjoying this.
Godfrey, the comedian, he does a rape joke on one of these specials, and someone does not like it, and it gets uncomfortable.
It's a weird thing. I mean, if we're all sitting here ever in judgment of comedy and comedy clubs and what comedians do, it's a slippery slope because, I just kind of caught myself like that. I'd be like going, well, I can't see defending a rape joke.
It's weird that we're not comedians, but we're in here and we're trying to make people laugh. We're doing what we can to try to make people laugh. Mm-hmm. That's what they're trying to do in there. Like when you hear George Lopez, he hears the crowd and they're going ape shit. And now he's got a microphone and she's shooting him off. Now he just wants to show his fans, I'm not going to take this shit.
She wouldn't sit down.
She wouldn't sit down. And the crowd's going insane. They're there to see George Lopez.
They want blood.
What do you expect? I just don't understand. What do you expect to happen here?
I know. It's just kind of interesting how the times are changing, how sensitivities have changed so much, and yet the one thing that still kind of remains a little bit constant is the comedy club. I don't see a lot of things changing there.
That's what,
to me, it's rather fascinating, the safe haven that it is.
They pride themselves on it.
Yeah.
They say the reason why I love to be a comedian is because I can talk about anything and nothing is off limits.
If you like that kind of edgy stuff, Anthony Jeselnik does that kind of show.
He will go with everything we've talked about, race, rape, all of it. There's nothing he will not. Larry David's another one. There's some people that don't like Larry David because Larry David on every, it's not like he picks a side. He just goes after everyone, and it can be deemed as offensive for sure.
Mm-hmm. All righty. Well, you ever got any comments, get them to us. Mail at kvjshow.com. You guys have a great Tuesday. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.